Yeah, we're ready. Hey, you guys, how are you? It's what day is it? Jesus, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, like the 13th of.
It is, yeah, the day before flowers.
The day before Valentine's Day. I asked a gal to marry me on this day one time.
Did it work?
Yeah, well.
Well, you got married.
What does work mean?
Yeah. Are you married currently?
No.
Okay, there we go.
No.
That's what it means.
Oh, I had. This is my friend Peter Estabrooks, and Peter's the fit guy.
The fitness guy.
The fitness guy, but we were talking about relationships and stuff when we were kind of getting to this. And yes, I've been married twice, and I consider them both very successful marriages.
Cool.
They were short, but
yeah, but you learned a lot. You had some fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And both of those beautiful women are still in my life. I have kids with them both.
That's cool.
And you've been married before?
Twice.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't found it necessary to do it in a long time.
No.
We've been laughing a bit.
Though I do have a partner that...
You're in a relationship?
Yeah, love dearly.
Nice.
Yeah. Probably best one ever. I think, just say it's that maturing, that aging.
Yes.
Finally at a place where, wow, can just accept someone for who they are.
Well,
and they actually accept you. Because what she said to me was very early on. She said, "Don't worry, I'm not with you for your potential."
Because this is it.
Yeah, yeah. This is the package.
That's great. That's great. It's been. I've been actually mostly single for the last 3 years, and I think that it's been a qualifying process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me to just get myself in a place where I think sometimes I've been in relationships because I needed to be with somebody or felt like I needed to be with somebody, and then I've discovered.
Oh, that's super easy.
Yeah, I've discovered that, after 3 years of not really being in a relationship, that I don't need, and so I think maybe then I can have the permission to actually do that.
Well, I think that's what I know that's what happened with me. Between my last relationship prior to this, I was 8 years single.
Okay, yeah.
8 years single, 8 years seriously single.
Yeah.
And I think that went a long way to making me more available to what is a real relationship.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of in that. I thought actually one of my men from my men's group that I'm involved in, men's team stuff, men's support each other, and one of my men said, "David, why don't you take a year off?" And it's actually over 3, and sometimes I think, where would I don't know how I would find time.
Yeah. Now I like everything I do. Well, my thing was I didn't consciously say I was going to take any time off. I just at one point realized, shit, I haven't been with anybody for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. But I sure surfed a lot.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You like surfing?
I enjoy surfing. Yes.
No.
I love surfing.
Yeah.
I really do.
Do you snowboard too?
Not even a little bit. I hate being cold. Actually, that's not true. I mean, I for years I surfed, and then people said the same thing. Well, why don't you snowboard? I mean, you're athletic. You live by the mountains. Why don't you try that? So I finally decided. I hate being cold.
Yeah.
First, I just hate being cold. Mm-hmm. And but I decided one day I'll try this, and got the snowboard, got the lessons, went on the little, with all the 6-year-olds in that little green carpet.
The bunny hill.
Yeah, not even the bunny hill, like in the sub bunny hill.
Yeah.
So I did, and one day I did the sub bunny hill, the bunny hill. I thought I could try one lift, so I went up the first lift, and the things were working out. And there is a similarity. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, this is good. So by about 3/4 of the way through the day, I thought, I'm going to go to the top of this mountain. I'm just going to go and head down and see what it works like. And I had a great time. I was just like flying, got a little bit of air off cups, and then all of a sudden, boom, something didn't work the way it was supposed to. And I just smashed into the ground, and to the point where a couple of people stopped and said, "Are you alive?"
You okay?
No, you're alive. It's like, and I was like, I think I am. And I ended up, I had broken like 3 ribs. And,
Oh.
like it was so there. That's my snowboarding career right
Yeah.
there. That was it. It's like, so people say, do you want to snowboard? It's like, absolutely not.
I have broken some bones snowboarding.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at it, obviously. And you know, and yes, I've damaged myself.
Oh.
It seems like you can fly.
Yeah.
And then when I get there,
Well, that was the learning part with surfing for me, is that it felt very much that freedom of flying.
Yes.
And at least when you're learning to surf it, like on those kind of waves, there's not much damage if you fall off the board. You know, you just kind of splash in the water and you get up again. And
I kind of learned on the north shore of Kauai.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big breaks.
That's
out
some
there.
good surf up there. Yeah.
But there's a long break by the pier.
By Hanaline Bay, just on the left side of the pier. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where I.
That's a sweet little ride.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are the ones where you can just ride and jump off.
Yeah. That's where I got my legs on the surfboard. You know.
So fun.
Yeah, but I'm not built very well for paddling. Mm-hmm. You know.
You got arms? What do you if you only had one arm, I might say that.
I don't seem to. Maybe I just have never been in good enough physical shape to paddle.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and off Byron Bay, the PA.
Wow.
Do you know? You've surfed off Byron Bay?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's a nice, just a little bit down the coast that's called the PA, which is and yeah, there are some big waves there. It's not. It's quite different than Kauai.
Yeah. Well, I typically, if I'm going to go for big waves, we'll go to Indonesia. You know, fly into Padang and take a boat somewhere.
Yeah.
And I try to do that once a year just to scare myself.
So you like Java over to? There's some nice beaches in Java.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. And what do they call? I know some of those beaches over there, but there's some of my friends.
Yeah. Well, typically I don't really go anywhere where there's beaches per se.
Yeah.
You know, we'll go stay on an island that has a couple of huts and a surf boat.
Yeah.
You're kind of single-minded in those trips.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So, you'll be there with a small crew. And
typically there'd be, 10 to 12 surfers and whoever is manning the camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there'd be a boat driver, a cook, and a host kind of thing.
Wow.
There's some great camps there. It's like super cool.
As you know, I love Indonesia.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, and I'd rather kind of scuba dive than surf. I like the water, but I'm not a great surfer.
I like flying over it, not being under it as much.
You've been under it lots, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the fitness world?
Taught my first fitness class when I was 21. I was boxing. I was boxing at a place called the National Fitness Center under a guy named Mansour Esmail, who was one of Calgary's earliest amazing boxing coaches, a Ugandan guy. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't afford a gym membership. Mm-hmm. So he said, I like your kid. You can, you fight well. You can train here, but you can help me teach Saturday morning conditioning classes. So I was 21, and I'll be 60 in a couple of weeks. So it's a lot of years.
You look 40.
Yeah. But at any rate, so that's when I started when I was 21, I started teaching, helping Mansour teach his conditioning classes on Saturdays, and I was boxing at the time. Mm-hmm. And, worked at a place called the Import Bazaar, and sold wicker furniture and boxed as an amateur, and then did that for five or 6 years. And then there was a guy that I couldn't quite beat for the national championships, who went on to win a medal at the Olympics. Dale Walters, super good boxer, my weight. But when I couldn't beat him the last time to get to the Olympics, I turned professional. Mm-hmm. And so during the time period when I was boxing, I didn't really teach a lot of fitness classes other than the Saturday morning one. And then And there was this place called, at the time was a new place, doing a new thing called Heaven's Fitness. And they were doing this thing called aerobics.
Yeah.
And there was a super cute girl that was one of the original owners who used to come to Mansour's gym to work out on the conditioning on Saturday mornings. And she said, why don't you come to my club? And I was like, so where's that? She said, you know, and it was at the time it was on 14th Street Northwest. So I went to a couple of aerobics classes, and it was crazy. You know, it was like 30 beautiful girls and me.
I knew that was coming. Yeah.
So at any rate, and so Joni said, you know, you should teach. You should teach. So I learned how to teach aerobics, and so then that was kind of my into the game. Was I taught aerobics, and I taught at the National Fitness Center, and then as I was boxing, as I turned professional as a boxer, and moved into to a stable of boxers down in Provo, Utah, and I couldn't work. I didn't have a green card to work. I had a green card to fight, so I could fight down there, but I couldn't work down there. So when you're in a stable of fighters, that means a bunch of guys live in a place, and they all train together. So what would happen is, first thing in the morning, you know, we'd get up and do our road work and some conditioning stuff. So that was usually 5:30 in the morning till 7:30 in the morning. And then the rest of the crew, everything else who was a boxer, like we're professionals, but we weren't really making a living.
The cat is napping.
Cats do that.
Can you remind her that we might need her?
I like that. So at any rate, the rest of the crew that I boxed with would go and work all day, and then we would train again kind of from 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock at night. So I had these huge gaps during the day, and it was in Provo, so I started.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I started.
BYU's right there.
Yeah, well, not BYU, Provo, Utah State University, Provo, Utah State's in Provo, and BYU's in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at any rate, I went and I started auditing classes, phys ed classes, thinking, you know what, I should learn a little bit more about this training and figure out how I can be a better boxer through training. And did that for a semester down there, and I thought, I'm going to go to school and get a phys ed degree.
Wow.
So I went to Utah State and looked at the application process, and as a foreign student, it was like $3,000 a semester, which doesn't sound like much now, but you know, back in 1980s, it's a lot of money for a guy who was just boxing as a professional. So they came back up here because I had a daughter up here as well. So I came back up here to. I was always going back and forth.
Yep.
I came back here and I checked into Calgary, University of Calgary, and it was $300 a semester. And I thought, you know what?
Same program.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to school here. So I more or less quit boxing professionally. I had a few fights while I was going to university, but I came up here and got a phys ed degree, and you know, started teaching fitness classes, aerobics, personal training, opened my own gym. So that's kind of 39 years worth of fitness right there.
So you have a gym now?
Yeah. I have a little space over in the Curry Barracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, the Curry Barracks sport, it's just getting smaller and smaller, shrinking, eh? The whole...
Well, not really. I mean, theoretically, you know, with the Canada Lands was going to take it over and make it this new metropolis, this new urban wonderland, and the economy's just not really booming right now. It's weird.
Not up for that, no.
It's weird. So, you know, so the idea of putting in, you know, multi-story business towers and restaurants and movie theaters isn't moving ahead at the pace that they had predicted it might have.
No, that's a 20-year project now.
So now I got a great little space, you know, 5,000 square feet. CrossFit and I share a building. They're on one side, I'm on the other. So
I've been in that building for CrossFit
there you go.
functions. My son, both my boys love CrossFit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you've been in my building.
Yeah.
You've just gone in the east stores. I'm around the west stores.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, I just finished a book, David Goggins.
Yeah. Goggins.
Goggins.
Yeah.
I have trouble with his last name.
A madman.
Honestly.
Crazy. Yeah.
Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Is the name of the book.
Yeah.
And I listened to it on Audible. Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about...
What an amazing story.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And,
Want to learn to run a marathon, so I'll run till my feet break, and then I'll run a little bit more.
100-mile endurance race to qualify for another 100.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make sure you can run 100 before you can come run our 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an amazing story.
He said, and I've listened to some podcasts with him and stuff like that. And actually, I found him inspirational. I've never been a workout guy.
Yeah.
And I've always imagined, okay, when I get to be 60, like I'm just going to do it. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Like I just fucking have to do it.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is that everybody has this preconceived notion of what fitness is, and fitness really is just individual to you, right? Fitness is just like a little bit more than where you are right now. To me, that's what fitness is. Fitness isn't like, it's not David Goggins.
No.
Like, fitness is just like, what can you do today, and what could we do between today and next week at this time where you might be a little bit better?
So it's happened.
Yeah. Cool.
I rented a space, and there was a room between my room and the bathroom, and I set up a little set of weights. Yes. And I'm on about 85 days straight.
Cool. Of doing something.
Yeah, and I've got a little set of weights, so I'm working with the weights every day, and I'm doing sit-ups, and it's expanding itself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm doing more every day.
Well, the more you do, the more you can do.
And it feels great.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, and I'm really stoked about what's happening. I mean, I'm squatting, I'm doing lots of upper body stuff. But what has happened is I recognized that I was losing
mass.
Yes.
Yeah, muscle mass.
Yeah, and I lift a lot here. Like I'm always lifting tables and stuff like that. But that's different than...
They're totally different than a set program where you're trying to build some muscle. But I mean, to that end, like my mom, I remember my mom does, like I have a personal training space. That's my day job.
Yeah.
And then I teach this big fitness class called TKO Sports Conditioning, where we have anywhere from 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people in the room at a time, just a big circuit training class. And my mom does that class with the class 3 times a week, and she's 86.
Nice.
Well, see, what happened was when she was...
Hope for us.
Well, here's that's where I'm getting to with this, is that she was, when she was 88, when she was 68, she never worked out a day in her life. Like, see, I mean, back in the day, who worked out? She had 7 kids, all those shit to do.
So 68.
68, hadn't ever worked out before, and I went to visit her one day, and I was looking at her, I thought, holy shit, she's all hunched over.
Yes, fading away.
She's a little fat, got a little butt going on. I was like, Jesus, it's a fitness guy's mom. She can't be fat. Like, that's bad advertising. So I said to her, let's why don't we start working out? And she's like, well, I've never worked out. I don't know what to do. And I said, look, I teach a class.
It's like meditation.
Yeah. She said, I teach a class. Why don't you just come do the class? And she's like, I could never do that class. And she was right. I mean, the level at which the class was at that time, she probably couldn't do. So I made a brand new TKO beginner class. And we had a couple of beginners come in, and she was one of them. I made her come 3 times a week. And then after about 6 months, like, she was strong enough and functional enough to do, to make her way through the complete, because my idea as a circuit is that you come to my circuit and you do what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to set up a program where you can come do what you can do. You know what? And if you have to modify something, modify it. So at any rate, got to the end of this 6-month period, and I figured, okay, cool, she's in. So I canceled the beginner class. It's like, there are no more beginners. Yeah, that is done. We are all one class now. And ironically, there was another lady who joined at the same time at the beginner class, because she was not in shape. And again, shape is like when I do this thing, it's because everybody's in shape. You're in whatever shape you're in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not in shape, you're in the shape you're in, and you can change that. It's totally up to you. And so at any rate, canceled the beginner class, and my mom and Juliana made them come to the advanced class. To the real class.
So she's been doing that for 20 years?
She's been doing it for almost 20 years now.
Wow. Like, you've added
Oh,
she's added, but
you know what?
years to her life.
Yeah, no, she's added life to her years.
Yes.
Yeah. So she probably would have been that old anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, she can do a squat on a surfboard now. I put a surfboard on a roller, and and she's great in class too, because then I have her in class and I talk to people like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna work. Like, I'm too old to start working out. A, and B, I'm out of shape. It's like my 86-year-old mom's gonna make it through class tonight. I bet you're gonna be okay. I bet we can figure out a way to make you get through class as well.
She's an inspiration.
Yeah, she absolutely is.
Wow.
Yeah. To a lot of people. Like, the more so than I'd actually that I actually give her credit for, you know. Because a lot of people now say that to me. They like, I can't believe your mom is still here. She's such an inspiration. Because now my class, I mean, the average age, like, I'm an old guy. The average age of my class is the average age is around 50 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's the average age of my class, and that's only because I've now moved into the two generation. Like, I'll have a family where the mom and dad come and the 20-year-old comes now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a couple that have actually the parents have dropped off the map, but now I got the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good for you.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Well, that's awesome. So who looks after things when you're surfing?
I got a buddy named Rod Baldry who holds hand pads and runs classes. I got another a guy that shares the gym with me. His name's Nathan. He'll teach the lunchtime classes. Rod Baldry was a boxer back in the 80s with me when I was a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into him one day. He ended up working for the post office. And I was out for a run one day, and this postal truck came driving up behind me, like fucking close to me, like, and honking at me. And I was like, oh, hit the fucking truck. Yeah, get out of here. You know, and sure enough, the truck does it again. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I run up, and it's Rod, and he's laughing. He's got a little smile for me. He's like, Brad, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. And I said, well, and of course, what I do to everybody, come to class, come play in my class. You'll love this. Mm-hmm. And so he came out to class a couple times. And Rod was a heavyweight boxer, and he's a bigger guy and hard on his body from then until now. Mm-hmm. And I did a couple classes. So my hips won't let me do this. My shoulders won't let me do this. Can I come hold hand pads? Because part of the boxing class is there's always stations where you're throwing a combination into somebody's hand pads. So Rod's been holding hand pads in my class for the last 10 or 12 years.
Nice.
So if I go surfing, he'll step in, run class.
Nice.
And it's a super cool community. I mean, my class is more a community than a class. I mean, so it's not the kind of fitness place where you go and people are trying to intimidate you.
So, I've never asked you this. This was, do you ever meditate?
Not in the traditional sense.
All right.
I personally practice a moving meditation. Like, I run ultra marathons, and I'll go out for a 4 or 5 hour, 3, 4 or 5 hour run, and there are times in there when there is a level of consciousness you can't get anywhere else, and that kind of feeds my need for speed, my need to be moving. I seem to be, if I'm moving, then I can kind of find myself in the moment. But traditionally, I don't really meditate other than I do I either run or I go to an isolation tank. Yeah.
Nice.
And those are the two ways that I find that I can find myself very much in the moment, of the moment, with the moment.
Wow. Ultra marathons.
Yeah.
Is that 100?
Well, an ultra marathon is anything longer than a traditional marathon distance. So a 50K, a 60K, 100K, 100 miles, 135 miles. I haven't done any of those last couple. But
I ran Honolulu.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because not everybody finishes.
No.
And
how fun was that?
Oh, it was great.
Like, that's just a crowd.
That was so great. Have you ever run a marathon with that many people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, the largest I've run, so I ran Chicago, had 36 and 40,000 people here. It's like running with a town. Come on, let's go.
I'll never forget Honolulu. It's morning.
Yep.
It's dark, and the gun goes off, and we're downtown Honolulu, and we start to run, and there's a lot of chatter.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of chatter, and people are. But then as we're getting to the hill where we're going to go up over Diamond Head,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, there's no.
It's just
more
that sound,
chatter.
right?
Yeah. Just the sneakers hitting the floor, hitting the ground, and off in the distance, it was were the animals waking up in the zoo, and you could hear them, and it went dead quiet, like from a lot of chatter, people excited to get the race started and the run going, and to just all I could hear was the feet.
I love that sound.
Yeah.
When nobody's talking anymore.
Yeah, the feet are hitting the ground, and people know the hill's coming, and now it's getting serious.
It's funny how most of the, like I only run trail marathons now, but most of the, when you used to run the big city marathons, that would be the shtick, right? Noisy, noisy, noisy. Shh. And I think it's just that moment when we realize, fuck, got another 24 miles to go.
I'm in trouble here. So, my marathon story, I'll tell you just quickly. I went to lunch with my brother one day in like March or April, and the marathon is in December.
December, yeah.
And I was smoking a pack a day, and I was probably 230, and I didn't own a pair of sneakers. And these guys said, I didn't realize what I was doing. I was going, all these guys were going to take the course at the university.
With George Kinnear.
Yeah, with George to train for the marathon. And
Guy's one of my heroes, by the way.
Yeah. I said, okay.
I'll do that.
I'll do that. I couldn't run a whole block.
Yeah.
Literally. So I had to throw away the smokes. And I ran at 185.
Wow.
So it was, like I dropped 45 pounds.
Holy smokes.
And out of that crew of about 8 or 9 fellas, only 2 of us
ran the marathon?
Ran the marathon and finished.
Wow.
Yeah. Only
and
2.
No one would have bet it was the 230-pound guy at the beginning, right?
No, I couldn't run it.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, I had to run 100
Yeah.
and walk 100, run 100 and walk 100. But it was great. And it was and then I tore some meniscus after. I had a knee injury, and I've never really run much since.
Yeah.
But it was, I think to do a marathon is one of those life accomplishments.
It's magical, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I remember, when we hit the wall at around 20.
Yeah.
Because I'd run a couple of 20s, and I trained a lot at Lindsay Park with lots of gear, sweating like crazy, because getting myself ready for
the heat.
For the heat, and hoping to take advantage of the altitude difference, And
Hey, did you notice any?
I don't remember.
I never noticed any. It's like it's such a loss here. Anyway, go ahead.
Training at 3,500 feet, and you run it at sea level, and you think, wow,
I'm going to win. I'm not.
And I had, but that was a big deal.
You know what? It's a huge deal. I think from a lot of people too, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't know personally, but I think it's a lot like childbirth. You finish and it's like, fuck, that hurts so much, my God. Yeah. And then about 3 weeks later, you're like, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
I'm going to do that again.
Yeah, I forget all about that pain part.
And my kids came, and
wow.
It was,
how inspirational.
Yeah, it was a pretty good deal. It was a few years ago. But, and so it's honestly, I feel like that now when I'm training.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm back in a different way.
Yeah.
It's a different type of training. I don't have a goal like a marathon, but I do have I feel like
that you're physical again.
Yeah.
Do you tie it together with your meditation?
Well, it's in the same room I meditate after.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I meditate in the morning right after that, and usually my meditation is like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. I know lots of people that meditate for an hour, and if I can, sometimes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I have been honestly a reluctant meditator most of my life, and I've been with some great teachers. I've like I said, I've been to India and been with the Dalai Lama, and I've done a lot of spiritual teachers, and sometimes we'll sit for 3 hours and meditate. and I've never done the 10-day Vipassana, but so no, I have been I'm not the poster boy for meditation. I believe that it's
the benefits from it.
Yes, and I feel them.
Yeah.
You know, but I think I'm like a lot of other people. Oh, you look tired. I think I'm like a lot of other people, you know, who say, you know, I don't have time.
Yeah.
You know, and this is really hard, but I'm persistent. You know, I recognize the value for my mind as well. Yeah. We were talking earlier about what happens as our minds get older. And you know, so many people in their 60s and 70s are now having, you know, trouble with remembering stuff and you know, with dementia and that kind of stuff, and meditation is proven to be beneficial.
To offset that.
Yes, to be hugely beneficial. It's like a magic drug, super drug, meditation. And so like what you're doing, of course, is you're getting tons of breath.
Yeah.
And you're getting tons of oxygen.
Yeah, mine is a moving meditation, but it's, I think, no less valuable. What I think it is, though, is that meditating would be a far more efficient way to do that than driving out to the trails, getting in your Jeep, running for a few hours, to be at that spot where really you could just get a stool and figure it out in an hour. Yeah,
you could be there in no time. The other, we're doing, coming up really soon here, we're going to have, on Sunday mornings, ecstatic dance. And ecstatic dance
is the same thing, right?
Can
moving
take you
meditation.
Yes, can take you into that place. You know, there's nothing that replaces a bit of discipline every day for even if it's 10 minutes to meditate. But I mean, that's important.
But how would someone learn if they don't know how to meditate?
Well, I encourage people to sit. Like even if it's 3 minutes, or 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, and just to find a position that's comfortable and just sit, follow the breath. And focus on the breath for a little bit until they, you know, because when we're focused on the breath, we're actually here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're focusing and we're present with the breath. And then my way what I talk to people about is the mind is a tool. So the mind is always busy, right?
Yep.
And because its job is to look after you.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. You know what? You know, and so the mind is racing around, trying to, you know, looking for danger and wondering.
Food, looking for danger food.
Danger food,
maybe
sex.
Some girls, yeah.
and so that's the job of the mind.
Yeah.
And so it's not a bad mind.
No.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
So if we can tell the mind to just relax, it's okay. We're safe.
Yeah, take a break.
Take a break. We're not hungry. We don't need to procreate right now. You know, we can just relax and so make friends with the mind and recognize that the mind is a tool and it's not you. You are not your mind, you know, any more than you are your body.
Legs or your arms.
Yes, it's a part of us, and so we just acknowledge that and sit quietly for even if it's 10 minutes, and we do that on a regular basis, and magic starts to happen. We start to become more self-aware. And consciousness, getting to know ourselves, is the greatest gift that we can possibly have, you know. And we get to feel stuff comes up. We're like, oh, and so that's my whole gig, is helping people with consciousness. So when they're inside, they start to recognize who is here, you know, and so they see fear coming up, or they see guilt, or they see shame, and then we go through the process of just letting those things go, and because many of us are run by those.
Oh, absolutely.
Those things in our conditioned belief systems around, you know, what we should be, what we didn't do, you know. And we're big on what we didn't do.
Well, see, the older we get, there's more stuff that we didn't do. Shit, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
damn.
That's right.
Yeah,
you know,
I should have, man.
Yeah, I was saying to Kat just the other day, as we get older, we never regret the things we did. We regret the things we didn't do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I want to skid into the finish line.
Yeah.
All fucking used up.
With all the things done.
All the things done. You know, live it.
Check.
Live it. And have you? Speaking of that, do you have a bucket list?
No. Yeah, I guess that's the easy answer. There's a lot of things I still want to do, but I don't necessarily say, damn, I gotta climb Machu Picchu before it's over. I guess my bucket list is broader in as much as I just want to live and be excited and be exciting, you know, and make a difference, you know, all those things.
So in community, you know, where do you feel like you're doing that? Are you making a difference?
I mean, I have a couple of different. I mean, on a real, again, so much of my life is tied to running because I do it so often, and so. I mean, one of the bigger ones is an annual or a couple times a year. It started. It's called a giveaway run, and anybody can do it anywhere. So it started, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15. I was out for a run around Inglewood. Had some cool new running jacket on. It was kind of hot in the morning. By the time I'd gotten to a certain spot, and I thought, fuck, I'm too hot. And I was gonna, if you know Inglewood, I was on 9th Avenue. I was gonna go out around the fish hatchery and come around the backside and cut back through Inglewood. And I thought, cool, I'm just gonna leave this jacket over the bus bench here. I'll get it in an hour and a half. And by the time I got back, my jacket was gone. And I was like, fuck, brand new jacket, Jesus, you know. And luckily I was running, which leaves you a little more peaceful. And as I'm running, I thought, you know,
perfect.
Somebody probably scored. Somebody saw that jacket and thought, fuck, that is awesome. I have a new jacket. And somebody right now thinks, I have a new jacket, and feels really good about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to start doing that. So I started doing runs where I just like wear too much clothing and just leave it as I was going around. And then as the next Christmas came, I said, I got a bunch of buddies that I run with, or a bunch, like, 'cause there's people I know. I'm buddies with lots of buddies. And so I called up 4 or 5 and I said, let's put on as much clothing as we can on Sunday and go for a run and come back naked. And so we started Beano, as you know Beano.
Yeah.
And
every day I talk about Beano every day here.
And every one of the pods. Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
At any rate, so we're at Beano, and we went out for a run and came back, and we're naked, like but I mean, almost like I was back, and I had underwear and socks on. That was it. Like, I left my shoes, I left everything. And later on, you know, you go for a drive, they're all by all the places where you left stuff, and it's all gone. Like, that's such a cool thing. So then the last few years, I've been teaming up a buddy of mine named Dave Bedome, owns a place called The Source. And so I usually hit him up the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years in October, and I say, you know what, I got a bunch of money, you got a bunch of overstock, let's just trade. And so he gives me boxes of stuff, and we've been going out, like, so, you know, a couple of years ago we had, you know, 15 or 20 people go out and run and just leave stuff behind, you know, just kind of make a difference, just
nice.
And not make a big deal about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so like this, and my kids are into it now. My youngest kids, like this.
I met him just the other day, right?
Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah,
it's my youngest one. Well, it's one of them.
Yep.
Anyway, so
how many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids, 2 stepkids, so 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another story. We'll get back to that.
That's a bunch of other stories. But anyway, so like our kids do it now.
Yeah.
Like this past Christmas we you know loaded. I go for a run by myself, carrying a wagon and stuff, and with a couple buddies, and we drop stuff off. And then I met my kids over at my kids and my partner over at In From the Cold, and we loaded up a couple of wagons, like literal wagons, you know, that used to take, and we went up and down the alleys and. You know, and just gave people stuff. Hey, buddy, you look like a size medium. You a size medium? No, I'm a large. Okay, here, get a little pair of sweatpants. You know, you look like, and my, you know, my kids at the beginning are like, oh, I can't. I'm not going. Like, yeah, this guy's in a fucking dumpster. I'm not going over there. It's like, I'll go with you. Come on, no, we'll walk. So you know, go over. And by the end, like the youngest is 7, and she was, you know, at the beginning she was like freaked out. I don't, you know, do not want to talk to these people. And by the end, she's like, whoa, look, you know, we're finished. She's like, no, look down there, you know, a block away. There's another guy. We should go. So it's just a super.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as community goes, I kind of do things on my own. You know, we're running, there's a group called High Fitness, super cool. it's the new wave of aerobics. Old school aerobics taught by a super neat group of women, and we start doing charity classes. You know, last year we did it for Gems for Gems. You know, raised $10,000 on a morning and teaching aerobics, just like I did a billion years ago. Yeah.
Gems for Gems.
Gems for Gems, a good organization.
I've heard about Gems for Gems. Yeah.
Well, they give scholarships to women in need, right?
Yeah.
So
So they can go to school.
yeah, I mean, we're not sending people to university and stuff, but they're sending to things like aesthetic school, stuff where people can get a job, you know, go to school for 6 weeks, come on and be able to take care of themselves and their children if need be. And but yeah, for the most part, it's more self-direct. I'm a pretty self-directed guy.
Nice.
It's not that I don't work well in teams.
Yeah.
Just most teams won't have me.
Me neither. So, kids, 6?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's super cool. It's a pretty amazing journey.
Any grandkids?
In 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest daughter is going to have her first.
Nice.
And she's, like, I mean, my kids were all, like, my oldest daughter was born when I was 20. And she's 38 when she's having her first one. So that she's far away. I mean, see, it passed a little wisdom along. And she looked at me and thought, I'm not going to do it that way. So.
Yeah, my daughter was born in 1980.
Yeah.
And she has twins.
Yeah, wow.
They're 5, boy and a girl. That's so much fun.
How fun is that?
Yeah, really.
I'm looking forward to that next stage. That
I don't think of myself as a grandfather, though.
Oh, I think of myself as a rockin' grandfather. I can't wait.
You will be fun. Yeah. My buddy Michael Noble's daughter just had a little one.
Yeah.
And he's so
over the moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. It's super fun.
Yeah. It is.
All the fun, and then so you can go home.
I have 5.
Yeah. Wow.
Grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah. And 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 2 by marriage, but still they call me grandpa. So I'm grandpa.
Cool.
Yeah.
So your DNA is taken care of for a while.
I think. Well, yeah. And I still have a son who hasn't
procreated yet.
No, but he's been practicing. He tells me about it.
So, I don't want to know. You practice, I don't know.
So is there room for people to come to your gym?
Always.
Is there?
Always. Yeah. Like, I mean, again, my classes are circuit training classes, so there are as many spaces as people show up.
And if somebody was in their 50s or 60s and haven't been working out a lot, can you help them get back in the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Come talk to me if nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have showers and stuff there?
I do. I do. You don't have to leave stinky. Yes. So typically, I mean, my bigger classes are all evening classes, so people don't usually stick around to shower.
Yeah.
Like I have the Monday, Wednesday night classes are big. Saturday morning at 8:30 is usually a pretty big class. But then I have noon classes Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You know, and those are smaller. Those are like 15 or 20 people in the class, and and you can.
I see you on Instagram. You know, your pictures of the people in your class.
Yeah.
And I follow you. I'm a fan on Instagram. And Instagram's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's an amazing. It's
Yeah.
I just put my good shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like you never see me in the morning on Instagram.
Well, I think you're pretty amazing. You have what a life you have. You know.
It's been pretty amazing thus far.
Yeah. And
first half's pretty cool.
The first half, right? Well, that's what this guy David Asprey's saying. You know, you got to read his book.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's called Brain Power. Did I say it was? Oh, I can't. I was looking for my phone.
That phone right there.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah. Asprey did the Bulletproof Coffee guy. I'm a big fan these days of his book, and especially of fellas in his 50s and 60s and starting to forget shit.
Yeah.
You know, and we can rebuild.
Oh yeah.
Really, we can rebuild, and where my dad had dementia, and there was no talk about rebuilding. You know,
it was just like, how do we manage this?
Yeah, but the technology's available now. And Asprey's saying, look, he's got his whole recipe. He says you can do this now or wait 10 years and it's going to become mainstream.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things he talks about is cold showers.
Yeah. First thing in the morning, 3 minutes cold shower.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I know.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it is.
I hate
Well,
that shit.
my cold shower is usually, it's at the end of my shower.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
And it's not quite 3 minutes.
Oh. Nobody takes a cold shower at the beginning of their shower. That makes no sense.
It's at the end of the shower. It's like, and I'm really, if I get like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I listened to a guy named Guru Singh who is a proponent of the same thing, of the, super cold shower, long as you can stand it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're health benefits or just a cruel joke for a bunch of guys. All the gurus are hanging out. Let's make them do this.
Let's make them shower. At least there's more. Wait till you read his book. There's more in there.
Well, I look forward to it.
But you're doing a lot of it already. But really, he's talking about fats. You know, butter, grass-fed butter. You know, and MCT oil.
Yeah.
So good for the brain, and for the mitochondria.
Yeah. I'm not much of a, I'm not. I was going to say I'm not much. I'm not a butter guy at all. I'm not. I'm a plant-based guy.
Yeah.
So.
So you're vegan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to call it plant-based. Call it vegan and people get all fucking freaky on you.
I'm doing coconut chia butter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm using in my coffee. Mostly I do some grass-fed regular butter because I'm kind of open.
Yeah.
But I do also the coconut chia butter, which is it has the same.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that I don't really, and I'll read the book obviously and stuff, but I don't really. Well, I don't supplement with anything. Mm-hmm. Like there are no supplements that I take just because, from a whole foods plant-based diet, I get everything I need. I get my healthy fats. Mm-hmm. I get everything. Period. Yeah. So I'm not. I don't worry about. People are like, what kind of supplements do you take? How come you look so young?
Yeah.
So because I work out and I eat well.
Yeah.
Kind of all it's what it comes down to.
Cat's vegan.
Hey, cat.
Yeah.
So are you? Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Are you an ethical vegan or are you a physiological vegan? Like, what started it?
I never really liked meat as a kid, and it just kind of progressed. When I was 17, I decided to stop eating meat, and then, but I still ate seafood. Yeah. And then I stopped eating seafood, and then I stopped eating dairy, and it's just kind of a progression to where I'm at now.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, mine was I was reading running ultramarathons, and I was reading a book by a guy. Scott Jurek is like the ultramarathoner of our generation, and in his book he was talking about the fact that he didn't get injured, and he attributed that to the fact that he didn't have the inflammation injuries that are associated with eating animal products. And I was about 6 weeks away from an ultra, and my knees were killing me, and my hips were killing me, and I said to my partner, I said, you know what? Can we try for 6 weeks? Let's just try, this and see if it makes a difference. And I ended up running like the fastest ultra I'd ever run. No injuries, like all my little nagging inflammation injuries went away, and so I started that. So I started as a physiological vegan. I've got the girls are ethical. I got girls who are like, we're not gonna kill animals to eat them. We love animals, so they're more ethical vegans. But we ended up at the same spot anyway. And
nice. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, I don't like to. Like, people have this connotation that. You're some kind of weird radical if you're a vegan. I was a weird radical before I was a vegan.
Cat's not a weird radical, are you, Cat?
Yes. Not at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So we're gonna we'll post. Is there any events you want to talk about? Anything that we can put up for you? Anything that you want to?
You know what? I'll just we'll keep in touch because there will be another Gems for Gems aerobathon coming on pretty soon, which is just a big hour-long aerobics class. Mm-hmm. And
because we like to support community.
Yeah, and I'll keep you guys in the loop because again my giving, my running thing. Yeah. I love people to come out, but I'm not. I'm not heavy on direction. Yeah. I'm going to say, okay, let's go do this. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about this. The run thing I do is anybody can do it anywhere.
Yes.
Anytime. It's Like, just stuff your pockets with $5 bills and give it to the guys.
Yeah.
You know, if there's somebody picking through garbage when you run by them, give them a $5 bill.
Yeah.
Say, hey, this just fell out of your pocket. It must be yours. People love that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's not, you know, you're not proselytizing. You're not preaching anything. You're just helping out.
Helping out, making a difference. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and
you're more than welcome.
And spending time with us and sharing your stories. And, you know, I mean, you're really well known in Calgary. You're a bit of a fitness icon.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
Do you know that guy? I think I know that guy.
I know that guy.
I'm that guy.
He's that guy. And so thanks for taking the time.
You're
to come
welcome.
in
It was totally
share.
my pleasure.
Thank you. I love you.
Beano brother.
Yes. We are. We go to Cafe Beano's together. So listen, you guys, follow us on YouTube. Will you subscribe on YouTube and check us out on our website?
I'm Fit Guy 1959 on Instagram.
Yeah, Fit Guy 1959.
And the fitnessguy.me is my website.
And Fitness Guy. We'll post that.
That's my advertising.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. And remember, winners meditate. Winners meditate, and they meditate on my stools. Yeah. These are not actually stools. These are transportation vehicles. These will skyrocket you into the fourth dimension of existence.
Cool. Now I got to get one.
and what is it that Buzz Lightyear says? Infinity and beyond.
And beyond, yes.
So, if you want to fly without leaving the house, you can do it on one of these stools. Okay, love you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.